This is part 7 of Azure tutorial. In our previous two videos, we discussed Azure resource groups and the benefits they provide. In this video, we'll discuss Azure management groups and subscriptions. Now, if there are only a few subscriptions in your organization, then it's relatively simple to manage them independently. However, in an organization, there are usually many employees and maybe many applications. If all these employees are provided Azure subscriptions and if they start creating Azure resources at will, it may soon become difficult to control, manage, and track who is creating what resources, and eventually the cost may go out of control. So Azure has 4 levels of management scope to organize, secure, manage, and track the costs. So the following image from MSDN shows the 4 levels of management scope and the relationship between them. Management group is at the top of the hierarchy. All subscriptions in a management group automatically inherit the conditions or settings specified at the management group level. So a management group is like a container for all your subscriptions. Just like how there can be multiple subscriptions, there can also be multiple management groups in an organization. Again, the following image is from MSDN and it shows how we can build a flexible structure of management groups and subscriptions to organize our resources into a hierarchy for unified policy and access management. Now, for whatever reason, let's say in our organization, we want to allow Azure resources to be created only in the East US Azure region. One easy way to do this is to create such a policy at the IT management group level. This policy is then automatically enforced on all the management groups and subscriptions that are descendants of the IT management group. The descendants will not be able to alter the security policy in any way, and it is also applicable to all resources under those subscriptions. So obviously, governance becomes much easier. Let's quickly look at this in action. At the moment, I'm on the Azure portal homepage. One way to create a management group is to click on this management groups icon. If you don't find it here, as usual, click on this more services link. This takes us to Azure all services page, search for management, and then click add management group. Two things that we need to provide when creating a management group is the management group ID and the display name. Management group ID cannot be changed after creation. We can change the display name if we want to. Since we are creating a management group, let's use the prefix MG for management group, and let's say we are creating this management group for the IT department. So I named it MG-IT, IT for information technology. Let's also make the display name same and then click save. There we go. Our management group is created. Let's click on the name and navigate to it. And then click on this details link to see the details of this management group. At the moment, as you can see, within this management group, we don't have any subscriptions. So let's add a subscription. At the moment, we only have one subscription, the free trial subscription. So let me select that and click save. There we go. Our free trial subscription is added to this management group. Next, let's create a policy. For that, obviously, click on this policies link. At the moment, we don't have any policies assigned at this management group level, and we can see that message right here. No assignments to display within the given scope. And this is the reason why we have at the moment 100% overall resource compliance. Now let's assign a policy. For that, click on this link. As you can see, at the moment, the scope is IT management group. That is, we want to enforce this policy at our IT management group level. But we can change the scope if we want to by clicking on this launch scope selector button. And here we can see our management group. From here, we can drill down to the subscription level. When I select the free trial subscription, we can further drill down to the resource group level. But we want to apply this policy at the management group level. So let me cancel this. Next, exclusions. if you want to, you can exclude certain resources from this policy assignment. Again, for that, click on this button, and from this drop-down list, select all your subscriptions. In our case, we only have one subscription. From there, we drill down further to our resource group, and here we can optionally select the resources that we want to exclude from this policy assignment. In our case, we want this policy to be applicable to all resources. So let's cancel. Next, policy definition. For that, click on this button. As you can see, as of this course recording, there are 472 built-in policies. By the time you watch this course, this may change. Now, if none of these built-in policies meet your requirement, you can always create your own custom policy. Now, you can use this search text box to search for the policy that we are looking for. In our case, we are looking for this allowed locations policy. As you can see from the description here, this policy enables you to restrict the locations your organizations can specify when deploying resources. Use this to enforce your geo-compliance requirements. So this is a policy that we want. Let's select that. Assignment name, it defaulted to the policy name. You can change it if you want to. And then you can also provide a meaningful description if you want to, and then click next. On this page, you specify the locations that you want to allow. In our case, we want to allow only East US region. So let's select that and then review and create. There we go. Our policy allowed locations is now assigned at this scope, that is at our IT management group level. Now let's navigate to all services page and then create a storage account. Subscription is free trial. Let's select a resource group and then provide a meaningful name. And location, let's leave it at South India. Try to review and create this and see what happens. There we go. Validation failed. And if we click here to view details, so the resource that we are trying to create, in our case, the storage account, was disallowed by this policy, allowed locations. If you remember, we assigned this policy at the IT management group level. So this means if any subscription under this IT management group tries to create a resource in a region other than East US, they will violate this policy and run into this error. So management settings like policies and role-based access control can be applied at any of the management levels. The level you select determines how widely the setting is applied. Lower levels inherit settings from higher levels. For example, when you apply a policy to a subscription, that policy is also applied to all resource groups and resources in that subscription. In general, it makes sense to apply critical settings at higher levels and project-specific settings at lower levels. Now, what is a subscription? Well, a subscription sits under a management group. It associates user accounts and the resources that were created by those user accounts. Each subscription has limits or quotas on the amount of resources you can create and use. Organizations can use subscriptions to manage costs and the resources that are created by users, teams, or projects. Resource groups and resources. We discussed them in detail in our previous videos in this series. Let's quickly recap. A resource group, as the name implies, is a group of related Azure resources. It's basically a logical container into which Azure resources like web apps, databases, and storage accounts are deployed and managed. An Azure resource is any service instance that you create. For example, virtual machine, Azure SQL database, storage account, etc. That's it in this video. Thank you for listening.